Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to announce that Representative Jeff Hickman has been elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, that I will not knowingly receive, directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office, other than the compensation allowed by law. I further swear that I will faithfully discharge my duties as Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives to the best of my ability.
Today just goes to show, don't believe everything you read on the internet. I don't think I got a single Democrat vote. Thank you, members, and thank you, Representative Billy and Representative Thompson, for your nominations today. And thank you to Justice Combs of the Supreme Court for administering the oath of office. And it's an honor to have you with us. Justice, I apologize for the short notice. Your presence, though, does prove the judicial branch is capable of moving quickly when we call. Thank you. Oh, I'm honored to have today my partner in all that I do, my wife Jana, and also my son Austin. Ashley and Taylor are both in school today and weren't able to make a quick trip down here on short notice as well, but it's my pleasure to have my partner in all that I do, my wife Jana Hickman, and my son Austin Wayne Harris Hickman. Our spouses make tremendous personal sacrifices for us, our families, and the people of our district so that we can be away from home and serve our state. And those of us with young children at home also realize our families make sacrifices due to our absence. And none of us say thank you to our spouses and our families enough for those sacrifices. And so to Jana and Taylor and Ashley and Austin, thank you, and I love you very, very much. It's hard to have all those special family members with us, particularly with the weather in Oklahoma and on short notice, but I would be remiss to not say a very special thank you and acknowledge the most supportive parents any child could have. My mom and dad, Steve and Kathy Hickman, my brother Jeremy and his wife Megan, and my niece Holly. I am blessed with the most wonderful family in the world. My grandmother, Jessie Hickman. I am the most blessed person in the world to have the family that I have, and I'm very grateful for the Lord for what He's provided me in my life. Mr. Speaker, Speaker Shannon, fellow members and guests, I stand before you incredibly humbled, maybe a bit overwhelmed at the task ahead, but I want to say thank you. Thank you for the honor that you've given me by placing the trust that you've placed in me to serve as your Speaker of the House of the Oklahoma House of Representatives. I must also say thank you to the people of Alfalfa, Major, Woods, Woodward counties, District 58 for giving me the privilege to represent them here the past 9 years and for the next year moving forward. And I'm going to have to find a Kleenex before I finish this speech. Thanks, Donnie. I also want to express my appreciation to my predecessor. Many of you know Representative Elmer Maddox. He and so many never had a chance to serve in the majority party. They walked right up to the promised land and never were able to enter in. And I appreciate his advice and counsel and support over these years as well. I feel so blessed to be able to serve a part of the state where Jana and I grew up and that gave us both so much. I also want to say thank you to the staff, from those that clean our offices to those that answer the phones, to our sergeants, to our LAs, all of those that serve us. We don't say thank you enough to them, and they are incredibly important to what we do here. And I've been encouraged by so many of them the past several days and today as well. And would you please join me in thanking all of our staff that do so much for us here in House of Representatives. Members, we face a year that will require creative solutions. We know the challenges that are ahead, but we need all 101 members of this House on deck. That includes our new members. Our new members no longer have the luxury before term limits of being able to or even expected to sit on the back row and keep quiet as the issues were debated here on the House floor. We know we have budget challenges ahead, but I hope you also see the possibilities that we have before us. We must continue to evaluate and look at reforms of our tax code, and it's our responsibility to minimize government regulation to create an economic environment where Oklahoma businesses can create jobs and be profitable, an environment that will be recognized by entrepreneurs and sought after by companies located outside of Oklahoma. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to improve our public education system, to do what's right for our children and prepare them for the future. We have the opportunity to advance continued reforms in corrections and the responsibility to ensure safe working conditions for our correctional employees. We all know the crisis that we face there. We have the responsibility to protect the investments that we've finally made in our roads and bridges to make Oklahoma a safer place to travel and provide the infrastructure for businesses to grow. We have the responsibility to stand up to the federal government's efforts, which overreach. And we have the responsibility to protect our freedoms and assert our rights as a state under the U.S. Constitution. And, Representative McDaniel, we have a responsibility to the taxpayers and to the future current and retired state employees to continue addressing our retirement systems. Members, these are just a few of the great challenges that are ahead of us. We know the days will get long this session as we work to address them. The process will be noisy. There will be agreement about where we want our state to go, but disagreement about how we get there. It's not an easy task that we face, but our founding fathers didn't intend for it to be. I simply make this pledge to you as your speaker. I will serve with respect for each of you, each of the 101 members elected to the people's house. That's my pledge to you today. Members, in closing, I just want to say, share something that I shared with our caucus earlier this morning, a scripture that was brought to light Sunday, sitting in church, and an additional one that I want to share with you that touched me particularly this weekend. It's found in the 58th chapter of Isaiah. When you read that, Isaiah takes to task those who go through the motions of acts of faith for their own benefit instead of for others or for God. Problems abound, but Isaiah notes the people are blind to the problems. They're only looking out for themselves. Isaiah calls on them to quit going through the motions, stop fighting and quarreling, stop pointing fingers and spreading vicious rumors, and make an impact on those around them. Make a difference for someone beyond themselves. It's a tough message when you read it, but it's one that is very applicable to those of us who are Christians and those of us who are public servants. Problems abound. And the question is, are we as the House of Representatives going to be blind to them, or are we going to make an impact? Are we going to make that difference that each of us, all 101 members of this House, felt we were called to do on the night we won our very first election? Matthew 5:14 describes the church by saying, "You're the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden." President Reagan referenced this verse when he spoke often about America being the shining city upon a hill. Those in the city on the hill are working to be seen, positioning themselves to be visible, but not for their own benefit, but for the benefit of the rest of the world. Today, I ask all of you to join me, all of us together. That's my invitation, 101 of us, to come together like those in the city upon a hill for the benefit of all, not for ourselves, to make an impact so when we leave here, we can look back at what we've done, at the sacrifices we made, the sacrifices our family made while we were away from home serving in this place, and see that it was worth it. For we made a difference for the Oklahomans we served and the generations of Oklahomans to come. May God bless each of you. May He bless our great state, and may God continue to bless America.